情似璀璨。
喺唔少人嘅印象裏面，小朋友淨係中意玩，淨係中意新奇刺激，但原來佢哋都有另一面。
Just talking to God during adoration, it helps calm my mind, and I enjoy it a lot.
I felt like I needed to spend more time with Jesus, so that instead of an hour, I actually did an hour and 30 minutes.
點樣一啲咁細嘅小朋友都有一啲好親身對同天主有一啲直接嘅對話，即係我好 impressed 就係原來咁細嘅小朋友都可以感受到天主。
Kids are very, very spiritually, very perceptive. They have that natural openness, that natural receptivity, I think, to faith.
It's not us saying, okay, you gotta do this, gotta do this. It is spontaneous, it is sincere, it's from their hearts.
It's the children who are actually drawing us closer to the Catholic faith.
喺上一集，我哋睇到一班男仔點樣藉住 FNE Federation of North American Explorers 嘅活動同培育，喺品格、體能同埋信仰上都不斷成長。FNE 其實亦歡迎女仔加入，只不過男仔同女仔分別隸屬唔同嘅組別。男同女都係天主所造，兩者完全平等，但就性別嚟講就各有不同。FNE 認為喺單一性別嘅環境下，女仔同男仔都能夠喺一個更適合佢哋嘅環境之下成長。
I have two sisters. They don't really play sports and they're not rough. So I have a bunch of brothers here. And I wish for a brother, and I got all these guys.
We also know the boys are, don't talk to me so much, just show me. Look at us men, we get something from the store, we only read the manual when we're in trouble. Okay, we try to figure it out ourselves. It's typical male. Look at my wife, she carefully reads all the instructions, follows all the steps, right? So girls are more intellectual, meaning let's talk about, let's have a discussion, and let's go off and actually do the activity. So we celebrate that you're male, or we celebrate that you're female, and either you're a boy or you're a girl, and that's how God made you. Embrace it, appreciate it, live it. And so this is what we're able to do in FNE, is to show them how to be a real man or a real woman, depending on the environment.
有人可能會諗，喺單一性別嘅環境之下，會唔會減少小朋友同異性相處嘅機會呢？但係另一個角度睇，咁樣反而令小朋友有更多機會從相同性別嘅成年人身上觀察，為佢哋提供可以學習嘅榜樣。
FNE is, like the rest of our movement in Europe, is either all boys with male leaders or all girls with female leaders. Why is that? The majority of society is co-ed, which is not bad, but it's co-ed. Many boys, their adult role models are their mothers and their female teachers. Not that it's negative, but they can't teach them what it means to be a boy. And so here the boys have a chance to see positive adult male role models, especially if there's no father, and we have boys that have no dad, or dad works in the other side of the world.
喺戶外營同埋其他活動裏面，男仔有機會盡情發揮佢哋好動同埋不拘小節嘅一面，亦有機會喺男性領袖身上學習。
So the boys need a chance to be in that environment. So we're not worried about is your jacket done up, for example, is your lip not a little dirty because of the drink. So a little less fussing, but we expect more from the boys. So we push them a bit. But they also see adult males serving, whether it's cooking or whether it's cleaning up or washing dishes. So they can see that men can give love, and that men are caring and nurturing, but in a different way than moms are and females are, because God made the males and females uniquely different, and I'm so grateful that He did. And so therefore they can grow and prosper. So we try to teach them what does it mean to be a good Catholic boy and later on a good Catholic man. Now for the girls, it's the same thing in reverse.
呢一日喺呢個距離多倫多2個半小時車程嘅公園裏面， 一班年齡介乎8至12歲嘅 Timberwolf 女仔正準備展開清潔沙灘嘅行動。
You know the water?
Yeah.
Some people, they're not responsible enough.
So they throw the things in the water.
Correct. You wear gloves for protection. Of course. Okay.
I only found 2 little candy wraps.
That's fine. Anything that you find that's not part of the environment. Oh, look at the water here. It's so clear.
I really hope there's
Look at the water. Interesting. So what do you have here? Water bottle,
straws,
straws. What else? Wrappers, plates. What else?
covers,
The people who what? What do they leave out when they smoke?
cigarettes.
Cigarette butts. Oh my goodness. That's not healthy for the animals that live in the water, correct?
呢次清潔沙灘行動其實係呢啲 Timberwolf 女仔參加夏令營嘅其中一個活動。同男仔嘅夏令營相比，女仔嘅夏令營規模細好多。呢一次一共有9個女仔參加，由一位領袖帶領，3位媽媽從旁協助。夏令營亦都因此成為咗一個家庭活動。
With the FNE, actually we thought when they joined, especially with my son, we thought we'd just be dropping them off and then picking them up after each event or activity. But no, the FNE is a family event. The activities that you participate in, it involves everyone in the family.
It helps me bond with my daughter because if I didn't have this opportunity, I'm always either cooking, feeding, running from one activity to the next. There's no quiet time to actually sit and bond with her. So when we come out on these camps like this, it gives me more time to be with her, to have quality time with her.
Like I'm speaking for myself. We're closer. We get closer to Jesus and Mama Mary. So I'm really glad that it's the children who are actually drawing us more closer. Closer to the Catholic faith. Isn't that great?
喺採訪夏令營嘅時候 ，Gina 係唯一一位帶住 Timberwolf 女仔嘅領袖。要一個人帶領全組女仔，相當唔容易。
Back in 2015, my son joined the FNE. The following September, my daughter joined. At the time, it was somebody who was leading the group, and unfortunately, she couldn't be a leader. So I had to step in. I had no idea how to do it, to run it. I just thought, I prayed, maybe this could be something that I could do, to help or do things with my daughter because she's part of the FNE. So I became the Akela, or the leader of the Timberwolves last year.
由於人數少，佢哋呢個4日3夜嘅夏令營唔能夠好似男仔咁樣可以喺營地舉行。Gina 借出咗自己嘅度假屋俾班女仔同埋同行嘅媽咪住，更加要負責照顧佢哋嘅膳食，幫佢哋洗衫等等，相當唔簡單。
好難得咯，即係因為你唔係咁容易，要用好多時間、好多心機、好多愛心。即係自己啲細路都仲話啫，仲要教人哋啲細路，真係唔係咁容易咯。
It's fun. It's so much fun. It makes me feel good at the end. It's more work in terms of time. Of course, you have to juggle a lot of roles, being a mother, an employee, and all the things, a wife. But you know what? God provides opportunities for you to do things. Everything just falls in the right places.
女仔嘅活動同男仔嘅活動亦都好唔一樣。清潔完沙灘之後，佢哋返去度假屋，準備下一個活動。 佢哋喺度假屋外面擺放咗一啲盆栽、書籍、賀卡等等，希望引起路人同埋車輛嘅注意。佢哋擺賣呢啲物品，原來係為咗2019年去法國路德嘅朝聖旅程籌款。
There has never been a pilgrimage made by this group, so I thought it was time for someone to take that lead. It's an ambitious project, that's why I set it for 2019. So we have a little bit over 2 years to do fundraising and preparation, spiritually and everything.
點解為朝聖旅程籌款會成為夏令營嘅節目之一？而喺呢一條住宅區嘅內街，會有幾多人經過幫襯佢哋嘅攤檔？班小朋友又能夠從中學到啲乜嘢呢？
We were waiting for like 15 minutes, and then no one would come, and then everyone just waves.
班女仔等咗10幾20分鐘，始終冇一架車願意停低幫襯，佢哋仲要等幾耐呢？
Would you like something? No! Wait! 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 I think I hear some! Please! Please! Wait! Yes! Yes! I got away! Hi!
And then one guy just stops and turns and he wants to buy something. I was happy that we finally got someone. When they came, we were very happy.
呢兩位男士係班女仔等咗好耐嘅客人，除咗盆栽，佢哋仲買咗好多雪條。唔通佢哋好中意食雪條嘅？原來啲雪條係佢哋買嚟俾翻班女仔食㗎。
I felt like God made it a miracle.
呢兩位男士嚟過之後，陸續有一啲有心人幫襯。喺嗰個幾鐘頭裏面，實際籌到嘅錢唔多，但係班女仔都覺得呢一次經歷好難忘。
Interesting, because people didn't come in the beginning, but they came at the end. He heard our prayers.
The faith formation, it just happens. Like today. We just started in a few minutes. It's amazing how God works. He works in mysterious ways, really. So each time that you would think it's hard and difficult or challenging, something would happen that would give you this direction to go to. So then you take that path, and there it becomes easier, a lot easier.
攝製隊除咗去 Timberwolf 女仔嘅夏令營，亦都探訪咗 Explorer 女仔嘅夏令營。佢哋一行6人嚟到呢一個近多倫多嘅營地露營。與其話係夏令營，其實更加似一家人嚟露營。Explorers 同 Timberwolves 嘅分別在於呢一班 Explorer 女仔要負起更大嘅責任，凡事都要親力親為，唔能夠淨係依賴領袖。
其實我覺得爹哋媽咪 send 啲女仔嚟 Explorer 都係想佢哋獨立啲。咁如果我做晒啲嘢嘅時候，咁佢咪唔需要獨立咯，係咪？咁所以而家係好即係盡量係佢哋做多啲，我做少啲。其實我希望 eventually 只係一個喺旁邊睇佢哋做嘢嘅 adult 咯。其實
俾班女仔做多啲，領袖好似可以輕鬆啲，但實際上就需要更大嘅耐性。呢一班女仔好快就將帳幕搭好，但係為咗預防帳幕滲水，就用咗好多時間。
So you do not exactly want the top to show. Do you know why? Because if it rains, so like say if the rain is like coming from the other end, and then it will just slip right through here, right? You don't really want that, do you? So then we really should tuck it in. Okay.
青少年由於慢慢有自己嘅諗法，未必會好似細個嗰陣時咁服從。身為帶領青少年嘅領袖 ，Karen 有時都覺得自己嘅耐性受到挑戰。
其實你覺得同佢哋相處或者做一個大人 lead 住你嘅角色咧，即 即係難唔難啊？
我個 challenge 係因為有啲新，即係雖然佢都跟咗我 kind of 1年，但係都唔夠嗰啲由細跟到我大嗰啲會咁順攤聽我講。佢都要拗，咁我都覺得都幾攞命嘅有時。呢個係我嘅 little cross 可以話。
Karen 嘅忍耐同付出係有價值㗎，班女仔都好中意呢位領袖。
She's been like my leader for forever, and like it's also great because my mom was friends with her before I joined, so it makes me a lot more comfortable, and I think she's doing a really good job.
She's very straightforward with her instructions, and in a way, she helps me learn more. Like, I tend to enjoy like the stricter teachers better because they help me get on track, like stay on track, and Pika has helped me a lot with that. And she's also a really good friend and mentor.
呢班女仔能夠喺 FNE 呢一個團體裏面愉快咁成長，就係 Karen 最大嘅回報。
有一次咧，我哋喺度傾緊偈講 camping 啦。咁我哋嗰年去 camping 咧，因為我哋睇咗個 recipe 咧點樣整雪糕啊。咁咧就擠咗一個大喺個大罐入面擠咗個細罐，就擠晒啲材料啦。然之後出面有啲冰有啲鹽咁樣，咁啊黐實咗佢咯喎。咁跟住就嗰個 activity 咧就係踢個罐咯。當你喺度踢佢嘅時候咧，咁佢就喺度 roll 嗰啲入面嗰啲 cream 啊、糖啊嗰啲材料就喺度 roll。咁佢哋咧就一講起 camping 咧，佢哋就會話：啊，我哋上次去整雪糕好好玩啊！咁佢哋好開心咁，佢哋開心我都開心咯，其實。
今晚你哋有打算有咩節目㗎？
今晚啊，我其實咧帶咗個 icon， 帶晒 icon， 本來諗住晏晝嘅時候有個 Taizé prayer， 我俾咗本 songbook 佢哋整，以前就我自己整嘅，今年我哋就有幾個 girls 佢哋話想 work on 個 music batch， 咁我話 OK， 你 work on music batch， 咁就不如你哋搞掂佢啦。咁佢哋好遲都未 send 嗰個 songbook 俾我，咁我哋而家係冇嘢喺手嘅咯，咁到時點樣唔知㗎，睇下天主有咩安排咯。Lord Jesus, you have told us that whenever 3 of us are gathered in your name, you are with us. Magnificat, Magnificat, Magnificat anima mea。
能夠喺大自然裏面幫助小朋友同青少年同主耶穌基督相遇，係 FNE 活動嘅一個重要元素。但除此之外 ，FNE 亦都會舉辦朝聖旅程。佢哋組團去外國嘅目的，體驗同觀光只係其次，最重要係藉住旅程，俾小朋友同青少年進一步認識天主教嘅文化，尤其係唔同嘅聖人聖女。2017年4月 ，FNE Timberwolf 同 Explorer 嘅40位男仔，連同多位領袖同埋爸爸，展開咗為期13日嘅意大利朝聖之旅。
對小朋友嚟講係一個好難得嘅機會啊！嗰陣時我都記得我哋大人細路都一路喺度期待，一路喺度等咗好耐嗰個 trip 去發生啦，係啊，咁啊，所以係好開心。
一到達意大利，佢哋就同當地嘅 FSE 童軍，亦都即係 FNE 所隸屬嘅團體會合，一齊展開為期3日嘅戶外營。
During our camp, I thought like before camp that it would be like hard for us to understand each other. We speak 2 different languages, but once we met, we like had a really good time. I think God touched us, so we could like have a good time with them, even though we don't like speak fluent languages with each other.
之後，佢哋去咗亞西西，嗰度係聖方濟各嘅出生地，亦有紀念佢嘅大殿。一班男仔特別雀躍，因為聖方濟各亞西西係 Timberwolf 嘅主保聖人，能夠親身去到亞西西，令到佢哋更被聖人嘅生命啟發。
During Paul Thomas's homily, he was kind of talking about how God gave St. Francis of Assisi like a purpose, and he entrusted him to rebuild the church, and it kind of like helped me realize that he's calling me and all of us to do great things for Christ.
一層嚟到意大利，佢哋當然唔會錯過見教宗方濟各嘅機會啦。呢一次旅程橫跨聖週同復活節，喺耶穌受難日嘅嗰日，佢哋有機會去到羅馬嘅聖梯小堂朝聖。相傳呢條樓梯嚟自比拉多總督府，耶穌當年就係沿住呢一啲梯級逐步行去接受審判。朝聖者都會用膝頭跪上樓梯，呢一個痛苦嘅經歷令班男仔相當難忘。
Every time I wanted to alleviate the pain in some way, Jesus would just say to me, if I can do it, so can you. I prayed 2 rosaries while I was going up those steps, and they were the best rosaries that I've ever prayed in my life. I felt such a deep connection and such a deep gratitude towards Jesus, because if I'm complaining to myself for such a small pain in my knees, how is Jesus even able to be crucified for us?
呢一次嘅旅程雖然係為班男仔而設，但係對於同行嘅爸爸嘅信仰亦起咗好大嘅作用。旅程之中經常要行好多路，令到呢一位爸爸深切體會到祈禱嘅效力。
The big challenge was really today. We had another long walk, and that was way worse than the other day. There is really no way I could do it. My legs were shaking. Not just my lower body, my upper body was also very painful. So what I did was just to pray. I just said to myself, I have to be more obedient with my faith. There's no other way I will be able to do this. And I just prayed the Lord's Prayer several times. I finished the rosary. And that obedience activates the love of God, or has given me the grace, and probably gave me strength to move on. So I'm just grateful I'm here with you guys.
喺平日繁忙嘅生活裏面，好多爸爸都未必能夠花好多嘅時間同個仔一齊。呢一次嘅旅程正好提供多啲空間俾佢哋相處。
Today, when we go to the church, I saw Justin looking at me. When we passed through the small door, he said, "Watch out, Daddy. I feel the love from Justin." For me, sometimes I'm too harsh for him. Sometimes I think I should make him so tough, so I push so hard for him. But on the other hand, I found maybe missing some love to him. So from this trip, I think I should love him more.
FNE 向來同 Legionaries of Christ 呢一個修會關係密切，呢次旅程亦有唔少時間住喺 Legionaries of Christ 當地嘅修院入面，令大家有機會更深入咁了解修士同神父嘅生活。
好記得我哋第一日去到第一笪地方去嘅就係佢哋個飯堂，一入到去見到200幾個 Legionaries of Christ 嘅修生啊神父啊喺嗰度。咁係嗰個 moment 係好振奮啦。
Sometimes I see from a local parish there might be only a few or even 1 or 2, interested people would consider priesthood. But now as I see the seminarian is, brothers coming from all over the world is coming to want to become a follower of Jesus, and I see the hope for the church.
其實一啲都唔出奇，就係之後都有好幾個小朋友都話好想去做神父。咁因為嗰個環境實在太開心、太平安，同埋佢哋嘅修會係好年輕化，所以嗰啲所有啲弟兄啊，都係好中意啲小朋友，大家即係冇任何隔膜啊，大家係一齊玩、一齊打波、一齊傾偈、一齊食嘢，咁係好開心，真係令佢哋嗰個同啲小朋友對同個教會嘅同諗話做神父呢樣嘢個距離係拉近咗好多啦。我哋自己喺 FN 即係爹哋啊咁樣，我哋幫手咁多年啦，咁亦都熟咗好多神父，咁亦都知道佢哋嘅 工作啊嘅普通除咗聖堂嘅工作，日常生活點樣？其實佢哋係好開心，變咗自己都拉近咗同神父關係好多。咁亦都好希望自己小朋友或者其他小朋友可以真係有幾個多啲可以做到神父啦嚇。
耶穌喺福音裏面曾經講過：你哋如果唔變成好似小朋友一樣，你哋決唔能夠進入天國。的確，小朋友純真同謙卑嘅本性，令佢哋更容易接受同信靠天主。而 FNE 呢個以天主教信仰培育為中心嘅制服團體，藉住戶外活動、社區服務同領袖培育等等活動，確保兒童同青少年身心有所成長嘅同時，亦能夠親身同耶穌相遇。
生活喺手機年代，我哋的確享有前所未有嘅方便，但智能手機嘅普及，亦都同時徹底改變咗人溝通同埋表達感情嘅模式。
感情嘅抒發，我哋今日人事實上係弱咗。聖詠嘅作者呢，佢哋冇乜止痛劑嘅，佢哋就向天主訴苦。
熟讀聖詠點樣能夠幫助我哋體會同埋抒發情感呢？請留意呢一個星期嘅愛常傳高下方修女嘅分享。睇完呢一集嘅愛常傳，歡迎大家打我哋嘅熱線電話，分享一下你嘅感受或者係故事。同時都請收聽我哋逢星期六嘅電台節目《愛生命》，以及訂閱 Podcast。要購買天主教書籍同信仰靈修禮物，請嚟到我哋位於 Markham 嘅生命恩泉資源及媒體中心參觀選購。我哋下星期同樣時間再見，天主保佑。